Hi there. Well, you've landed on Tarot Down Under with me, Dr. Lena Rodriguez, bringing you what I hope is a unique blend of tarot card reading and sociology as an academic. So, just in case any of you are Trump supporters and think he's remotely okay, not the channel for you, pet. Okay, so moving right along. Now, for regular intrepid viewers, for any new open-minded viewers, today dawned with the story that Bill Barr was upset with Trump's tweets and they were stopping him doing his job. Well, what's that job, Bill? Oh, well, I want to dismantle the independent judiciary of the United States of America, and I can't do it if this guy keeps tweeting and gives the game away. What? What else is he saying? That is obviously what he is saying. So it is interesting in itself. This is why Putin's not that enthusiastic about keeping the Yeti on board anymore. This is why so many people leave and can't deal with him, because he can't keep even a strategy that's for him in his vacuous brain for a nanosecond. He will sabotage even those who are helping him and sticking their necks out and destroying the nation in the interests of helping him. And I can only say we have to all pray for their eternal souls, because if they fell for it, so be it, you know. But how fascinating. So I've brought out the Russian deck and I'm going to have a look at Bill Barr and what's happening with the relationship with the Yeti. Let's have a look at that first. Of course, Bernie Sanders won New Hampshire. You wouldn't know it looking at the mainstream media, but yes, he did. So we'll be looking at that as well. So let's look at first Bill Barr and the relationship with the Yeti. Yeah. What a nightmare. To be in a corrupt, high-risk sort of endeavour with a man who has the brain of a goldfish, the morals of an anaconda. I mean, what? You can't find the words. I'm sorry to the reptiles of this world. I apologise. I also will take this chance to apologise to all Yetis. Nothing wrong with the Yeti, but we've got to find these other words to describe him. So what's Barr's relationship with Trump looking like as we speak? Let's have a look. I'll bring you down. Here we go. He's puzzled. He doesn't understand. Oh, how funny. Oh, look. All right. These cards, by definition, are quite dark. For those of you who aren't familiar with them, they're called the 12 Chairs deck, and they emerged out of a play that was written in Russia in the 20s or 30s or something. My first digression, viewers. So when people couldn't speak out against the ruling regime, they often turned to theatre and other forms of the arts to get the message out there so people could see it. And the 12 Chairs was a famous play. Excuse me a moment, I have to let someone in with a ladder. Okay, I'm just recording for the next 20 minutes. Okay, the ladder has entered. All right, so by definition, they're quite dark cards, and they're perfect, of course, for dealing with the people we're dealing with in this cast who are genuinely going to the dark side. So right on top, here we have it. This figure emerging from someone very important, meeting and from the office, scratching their head going, what the? what was that about? I thought we were doing this, this, and this, but what was that about? This is someone who's emerged from the room going, I don't understand what's happening. This is a big worry for Bill Barr. He doesn't understand Trump's essential motivations. He's dealing with a sociopath. He's dealing with a narcissist. He thought he was just dealing with a bent individual who could initiate his programs. And I'll talk about that here in time. So this is him going, what? What is he doing? Pen is mightier than the sword. There's certainly no risk of a military coup supporting Donald Trump in the United States. He has really turned his back on the military are not impressed with him. Most recently, Vindman. Now, please, a lot of viewers are worried about Vindman because he was treated so appallingly with such a lack of respect. Do not worry, please. He's a big enough person, big enough soul to understand that he played a role in, hopefully, this man's downfall. He's proud of that. He's proud of what he's done. He's proud of what he represents, and he is a true national hero. Don't worry, please, about Vindman. Vindman was a turning point after the other 77 turning points with Trump and the military, so please don't worry. This is a generic card, a bit like I was saying about how these 12 Chairs Tarot came about altogether. The pen can be mightier than the sword. And Barr, excuse me, was using the pen symbolically, fishing around with laws and abusing laws and stuff, not tanks in the street, to try and do whatever his agenda is, which I suspect is not very nice, right? But he is now left with the burden. He's carrying the load. These people think they're smart, right? Anyone who spends 3 minutes in Trump's company knows he's a doofus, right? You know, that's not me being elitist, surely. That's because the man has a reputation as an imbecile. Anyone knows he's not a reader. He has no curiosity. He only cares about himself. He's a big noter. He's a charlatan. He's a con man. This is all evident within 3 minutes of meeting Trump. But they think they're smarter than him. So this was Kelly. This was all of them, one by one, who thought they could be the grown-ups, who thought they were smarter than him, who thought they could bring him into line. And Barr was one of those. He thought he could bring it. Now he's got the burden. He is carrying this absolute rat bag on his back. His wife, I think, has something to say about this. She's saying, don't go there. I told you, Bill. I told you not to go there. Right. She's not happy. Let me tell you, when he goes home, it is not a relaxing space. Here, it's slightly pleading, don't go further, you know, don't go out, it's dangerous. That was her back in the day. Now, you know what? I doubt she even speaks to him because what he's doing is so truly indefensible. How's Bill Barr feeling? I'm glad you asked, intrepid viewers. This is how he's feeling. He's feeling trapped in a nightmare. He's feeling undressed. He's feeling literally naked. He is feeling exposed because the criminal he was protecting keeps exposing him. Every 6 or 8 hours, there's another Adderall-filled text rampage rubbish nonsense naming him. Just as Lev and Igor, must read on Igor too, he's the other one, have proved over and over, Bill Barr is in the thick of this. So, not surprised, the only consolation is he's feeling fully exposed now. Those 4 prosecutors walking out on the Stone case. Let's have a quick look at the Stone case. All these strings have been pulled, doors have been opened, deals have been struck. Ooh. Roger Stone. Is he going to get away with it? Is Roger Stone going to get away with it? Is Roger Stone going to get away with it? I'll do a 5-carder on this. Roger Stone. I think he's on 7 counts or something. Is he going to get away with it? Let's have a look at Roger. All righty. Not entirely clear. All right. So, bang in the middle, the World card. This is indicating this is a bigger story than it seems. This is not just one guy who was a legendary party animal of 30 or 40 years standing. This is speaking to something bigger. This is the world. I think Stone's influence is even broader than Epstein's. You know, this is the world here. Now, here he has the Ace of Swords. This is in his past position. This is, I think, Roger. This isn't what happened to Roger. This is what I think Roger did. I'm not saying for a second he killed anyone, but this is saying to me, nasty guy. I suspect he's got a lot of dirt. There's conflict over this. What is he going to do? Can you see the argy-bargy here with the chair? I think there's a lot of highly placed men who are very worried about whatever Roger Stone has as insurance. Roger doesn't look that worried. He's convinced he's got enough insurance on enough highly placed people that he won't really go for a long sentence. I think he also thinks Trump will let him off, and we'll get to that in a while. At the moment, he's coming up for sentencing with the Hierophant, Amy Brennan. And she's a no-nonsense judge, and although Bill Barr can do all this stuff, she will not be impressed with that. But we'll see what transpires. He's in a very precipitous place here. We've got the Moon card, obscuring what is going on. Well, thanks to Trump, it's not that obscured, it's up front. But the Moon speaks to deeper veiled secrets. So I think this is what he has. And this is what makes him dangerous to other men in high positions. Personally, going back to the Hierophant and Amy Brennan, I don't think this will affect her judgment so much. I think she'll give him what she thinks is an appropriate sentence. She gave him 2 warnings, then she gagged him. She isn't impressed with the defense. I think we'll see quite a long sentence. The question becomes what happens then? How deep are these hidden, deeply hidden forces at work, followed by the High Priestess and hidden agendas? You know, like this is all hidden, hidden, hidden. In other words, unfortunately, it's bigger and higher than Amy Brennan. She'll do her bit, but how much time will he actually serve? I might move to my other cards for that question. Roger Stone. Given that he's got all this on his side trying to pull him out, what's the actual question? Will it work? Will Roger Stone skate on the other side of this? We're talking a pardon, we're talking a reduced sentence. What's going to happen? So she's going to do her job. But what's going to happen later with Roger Stone? Well. Because this has all come to light, another digression, viewers, thanks to Trump, it's all come to light. So it makes it harder for all those who are prepared to not look and make it easy on Roger. It's harder to do that because it's so bleeding obvious. So this is Roger Stone fighting everyone off. I don't think he's even that happy with Trump. I mean, he's fighting on all fronts. He's fighting on the legal front. He's fighting on the social front because his whole world is social. And people are starting to go, Roger, look, if you get a 5 or a 7 year sentence, love, don't bother ringing when you get out. So I think he's fighting on all fronts. The Hanged Man, things not happening suddenly. I hope we don't have another adjournment, and it means that sort of hanging around. But it could be that he is jailed for a while because there is the judgment card. There's no doubt he did the things he was charged with. That's no longer even relevant, it would appear, viewers. It's only who you know. So much for no one's above the law. It's never been the case for 1,000 years, and it's sure as hell not the case now. But short term, this is his judgment, but then he moves away from that fracas. So I think he will get out. I think he'll get a substantial sentence. He will go to jail and then he'll get out. Not necessarily, this isn't looking like a pardon, although it could be. He could claim health issues and those usual things that the wealthy can do, because you can get reports from people saying you couldn't possibly cope with such an incarceration, etc., escaping from the swords. So he will escape his full retribution, but at a price, and at a colossal price. He won't get any other dinner party invitations from now on. And for someone like Roger Stone, that cuts. I'm sorry, it's not the same as mere mortals. Yes. All right. So back to the Russian cards. Back to Bernie. Now, dear Bernie, I'm very fond of Bernie. I like what he represents on all sorts of levels. But his campaign is starting to look a bit problematic around the gills. You know, the supporters might be a bit too strident and not support anyone else, or a few issues coming up. He had a toe-to-toe row with the biggest union of culinary workers in Nevada. Not smart when you're going on a worker's ticket. Look, of course, I'd be happy to see Bernie get up or get in, but like all of you, I think we're getting to the stage a can of asparagus would be better than the present president. Bernie has fought an amazing fight of getting healthcare up to a major front and centre issue. But my problem, and I'm sure some of you will disagree with this, my problem with Bernie's universal health plan is it takes people off the private plans they've got. Okay, this is crazy. In a country that's very vulnerable and very on edge about the healthcare issue, to say, we're going to take your healthcare and we want you to support everyone else getting healthcare, is a crazy approach. It does not make sense. In Australia, we have what's called a mixed model of health, and that is a public system that anyone at any point of their life can access. So you can have, I've had family members have extensive cancer treatment, that's surgery, radiation, chemo, and then several years later having it all again, premature babies, major issues, 3 stents in the heart. You can have that done for nothing, for the cost of pricing your car, parking your car. How do we pay for it? We have a system whereby everyone's taxed. There's a Medicare levy of 1.5%. And if you earn over $200,000, it's 2%. Now, half of Australians are also privately insured. What does that mean in the context of this free medical? What it means is for about $1,200 a year, you can get optical care, dental care, you can get a massage, this sort of thing. But it also means if you go to hospital, you can get a private room, whereas in the free system, you're going to be in a public room. That might be with 2 people, it might be with 4 people. I've never been privately insured. I am in awe of our health system from the inside out. I'm a health sociologist, right? So people who choose to privately insure can, and they can, for example, if they want a hip replacement next Wednesday, they can organise for that to happen. In the public system, any emergency surgery is done immediately, regardless of your income, regardless of your status, by the best surgeons in the country. But you will wait for your hip replacement because it's what's called elective surgery. It's not life-threatening. You're uncomfortable, but it's not life-threatening, and you will have to wait. And if you're privately insured, you can go in and not wait. But anything critical and essential is done straight away. Now, we have the best doctors working in both systems. You see, the whole culture of the American medical system needs to change. It's not one thing. It's not just how you pay, or it's a whole culture. So we have doctors working in the public system who also work in the private system, who are also the best, whether they're orthopedic surgeons or fertility specialists, and they go and treat the Aga Khan's wife, and they treat all sorts of famous people all over the world because they're so good. But you know what? They still work in the public system as well because they believe in it. And America's a long way from that. So my advice to America for Democrats is we will, when we're elected, we will be looking at comparable health models in Canada, Australia, the UK, what's working, what doesn't work, etc. And you will still be able to have private insurance, should be the mantra. Because people who are happy to go to the Dems on other issues and like the idea of universal healthcare, if you say, well, I'm taking your healthcare away, that is folly. And Bernie, I don't know why after all these years you haven't looked at comparative models. Okay. But other than that, there's a lot to be said for Bernie, but we'll see how he's travelling. He's certainly in the driver's seat as we speak. Elizabeth Warren seems to have stalled. Amy Klobuchar, I've been saying for some months now, she's the dark horse. Keep an eye on Amy. But today I'm doing Bernie. Where's he going? Where's he going? Where's he going? What's happening with Bernie? Oh, before I do this, viewers, what's happened with Biden? Biden abusing voters. Wow, this is not a good look. It's like he's a little bit out of control, the teddy bear. Wow. But we also have polls saying, generally, middle America, Hunter Biden's job wasn't right. You know, no. Okay, fine. That means Ivanka's job isn't right because you, the taxpayers of America, are paying for her, the fashion designer at best, to be a senior advisor to the president. What crap is that? So the polls need to work these two questions into one. Do you think the Hunter Biden thing is not quite ethical? And what do you think then about Ivanka being the first daughter as a senior advisor? Put it together in people's heads, please. Okay, Bernie. Now, as we all know, viewers, we've all got a long way to go in this race. Okay, he's still up for it. In the past, underneath. Oh, he gets the same card as Bill Barr. Let's hope it goes a bit further. Okay, now what we have here with the Seven of Wands in the Rider-Waite, that's the card of being embattled. It's not so obvious here. This is the person who wants to go on, and this is probably Bernie's wife saying, Bernie, have a lie down, take a break or something. But it's saying to me, in fairness, all jokes aside, he's up for it. He's still keen to get out the door and say what he's got to say. Now, what's in the past in this issue? The Death card. This was people writing off Bernie. He wouldn't be around at this time, but he is not only around, but winning. Okay? Winning. That's called being in the first position. Right. So this was him in the past after the last run. Now he's back. He's still got the energy to get out the door. And the Knight of Cups, this can be a slightly duplicitous night, but this is people talking and being overheard. Is it Bernie and someone talking and being overheard? Or is it Bernie overhearing something critical that he could use in the campaign? So in any event, he's got to assume that people are listening to everything on every device. This is a warning about surveillance for Bernie Sanders. What's on top of his head? Well, yes, Trump. The sleazy, lecherous, pussy-grabbing mullet, you know, the brain-dead, hamburger-chowing, Adderall-consuming, bankrupt nutcase that happens to be occupying the White House. That would be him. Coming out, Bernie a bit hamstrung, right? I talked through the imagery of this card with Bill Barr. There's no way you can dress it up as a nice card except to say, just wait and see. But I think he's feeling a bit hamstrung, and I suspect that's about the bad relationship he had with the union in Nevada. That is not good for him. Okay, so essentially feeling a bit hamstrung. Two of Pentacles, he's still in the game, more than in the game. He needs to, where was my card of surveillance? This is the eavesdroppers, right, on Bernie. This is him. Don't show everything all at once. He leads from the front in that sense. Oh, where am I? Oh, I don't know that Bernie would be the easiest person to work for, but that doesn't matter. You know what? None of them would be, because they're all so stressed and high energy to be doing this job and so high achieving and everything else. I'm not going to single Bernie out as difficult, you know. I mean, look at Amy Klobuchar. You know, she seems so nice. Is anyone really as nice as Amy Klobuchar seems to be? I mean, maybe she's a villainous witch behind the scenes. Maybe not. However, the point I'm making here is he has to be very careful and keep some of his things away from the limelight. It's my advice to Bernie. All right then, intrepid ones, I had to rush in and get this to you. So I'll see you really soon with the rolling updates. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Bye.